Is this crap working right now? Yeah, I think so. Let me make some movements in here. I think now I'm not lagging. So this is the resource management. I was just seeing if for some reason I had my problems with my man. Alexander, thanks for the tip, but never buy anything from NVIDIA. They are just douchebags. Every time you update, and if you are on the, like I have a 3060, every time you upgrade some of their software, everything starts to work worse and worse. So just stay out of it. I will have to downgrade again for the third time the studio app to the one that takes the noise out of the mic, and I cannot even use the same effects that I used on the older version of the software, because now, even though the effects are the same, my graphics card for some reason doesn't support it. Audio probably can be worse, even though I'm not having any feedback on my I cannot even remember on my Jesus. I don't have any audio feedback. So now that the problems are sorted, or so they seem, let's start to check out the new things. So just a couple of things. Let's see if we can go on my files so you can see what I was doing today. So I was smashing plastics. I was catching tiny SOS. I was testing the cadence, or whatever you want to call it, the elves, catching bass with it. I also tested, I don't know if I have in here. Yeah, firstly, I was testing a Pure Lure Zero rod with a Pure Lure Zero VX reel. So that's what I was doing today on the morning. Caught a bunch of bass, I think like 40. No, none of them were over 25 centimeters, or all very small. I felt like Anakin Skywalking when he started to murder all the kids, but either way, it was fun on this twig of a rod. So both reels work. This one can throw from 2 grams and over, even with a shallow spool. And in here, I have a bunch of line. That's the only problem I had, was with having too much line in it. I have 150 meters. So that's it. And I run into not backlashes. So I have like 2 of them fishing against the wind. And the 2 that I have, one of them, it just went on the loop, and I will have to check it out and cut a little bit of line. But minimal backlashes. I was messing with the brakes, getting a lot near zero. So user error. With the elves, I was throwing 1.5 grams. And it was able to cast it. Backlashes were not that big of a deal. It's just like half a turn, something, maybe 1 turn. So very easable fix. The only thing that you have to keep in mind is that the elf, it's very slow. It has a very small spool. And for some reason, how can I explain it? It's harder to feel the fish when you get it. So it's a bit weird. I was feeling more with the Caesar Zero. But again, I think this is like when I put the elves, this just goes under 150 grams. And I was fishing all morning, and I haven't had any pain on my shoulder. So quite nice. So, and it looks actually quite at home. No, it's not, Philip. It's not a Zizang Zukibo line. This the yellow, I think it's from Caesar. It's the Caesar GX something. I have another one. By the end of the year, I will make a round table of all the line that I use and the one I like. It's not bad, this line. It's from Caesar. It's like imitation of a very famous line. But the one that I have in there, the purple. So I think this is the one that you mentioned. Yeah, this one is from Mifine. It's the Mifine Devil's Wire. I have it on this reel, on the Caesar Zero, and I have it on the Takuma Linkshi spinning reel. And the Takuma Linkshi spinning reel, I have like 0.2, if I remember correctly. This one, I think they don't rate it in zero in PE. I think this one is 0.12 millimeters. Mifine Devil's Wire in purple. And the other one that I have in Linkshi, that is a spinning reel that also has purple accents, I have, I think, 0.06, so half the diameter of this one. I have to say, for the price, if it's 12 euros, it's a bit expensive. I will not buy the hype around this line. It rides a little bit on itself. It's not the worst line that I've used. I would put it, how can I tell? I would say on the range of the Leydun, because it doesn't have any sort of it's not perfectly round, so it will bite on itself. So, and you don't have the coating like you have in some other lines, like the Blast, the LSP. So it's a good line if you can get a spool of 150 meters for 5 euros. It's actually quite great because it has some abrasion resistance. It doesn't have any fluffiness onto it. The knots hold on very well, which sometimes you will have problems with the microfly. So I had the two spools. Because I run into such problems, like I lost a barbell when I was testing the Leydun Zoop, because the braid just broke and it was a fresh spool of braid. So I know that braid was not hitting the rocks. It was like on the first cast that I made. So now I just, from time to time when I'm spooling, I just yank on the line, and this one seems it's very how can I say, it's very consistent, the quality that you get on this line. So, but this is on Aliexpress, and if you don't want to pay the 11 euros, if you go on the bundles deals, this one will cost you, I think, like I pay 4 euros something, 3 euros something for 150 meters. And at that price, I cannot complain, just because of the consistency. After this, just if you want, if the price is 11 euros, just grab the LSP. You'll be much happier. If you want to go under the 0.10 millimeter mark, you can get this one, because when you get on very thin braid, especially for spinning on super ultralight, it's hard to find one that will not shit itself. I have some that I got in Portugal from Ricardo that's actually quite great, but I suspect by the pricing and by the feel that I have on the line, that is made on the same factory as this one from Mifine. But I actually have the Sizang Zukibo line, the one with the lady on the box. I had it on my Macro Monster Pro, and it's quite a good line, but I think you can only get it in 0.8 PE and up, so 0.12 millimeters and over. So this is what I was doing, just some preliminary tests. It's the crappy overhead over ball head, over the dome camera. Today I put my my iPhone on the chest so I can get these better shots. So I have let me open the folder. So let me just see if this will work well. So now I have also this, but I will try to match the two and make a video out of this, but maybe it will be harder. So you get nicer shots. I can take groups. You see, you get these nicer shots with also the other ones on top of my head. So in this one, I don't catch anything, but I think on the first one. So I have some close-ups. You can see what I'm using on my presentations. And let's see if, yeah, you can see the fish is up and close. So I have my action cup over me, and I have fun just getting the close-up shots. And again, I forgot my gloves, so the fishing are just flailing everywhere. So enough of this. This is basically the new stuff. So let's just move on to the new stuff. That's the thing that I want to talk about. A lot of new stuff, especially from Marvelous. Marvelous just released a lot of stuff. I know the store owner, and I had it on the back of my head for some time because I think I can openly talk about this. He buys stuff on, like, you go on trade shows or where you buy things in bulk, or you can commission things in bulk, and he goes on those kinds of trade shows in China with fishing stuff, and he just decides what he wants to buy. So basically, he just goes there and buys whatever he sees fits. That's why you see sometimes rods and reels that he has, Fishing Funds has, because Fishing Funds is basically the same stuff. They just go directly to sellers, factories, and whatever it is, and they just commission stuff. I order some things from Fishing Fans, and some of them come branded, some of them, like with Marvelous, will not come branded, and that's just miss and match, and there's no continuity like you have in other brands. And the man just released like 20 things at the same time. I will just cover the ultralight and BFS stuff. But firstly, let's start with Pure Lure. They released the rod. They will release more info tomorrow, but I think I know enough. This is the Pure Lure. For some reason, the name it's a little bit weird. NDMBLS. It's a Toray. It has the same carbon fiber cloth that I have on my Arc Reflex. So, but it's actually, I think I break it down on the Arc Reflex video. Basically, you get the best of all the carbon cloths that you have. So you have like the strength of the T46, T40. You get the elasticity that you have with 24. You have more compression in between the weaves, so you can put more pressure when you're rolling and putting the epoxy on your rod. And overall, so you get a bendy rod that has a very fast recovery. So you get the benefits of a fast rod on a slow rod. If you can understand, it's like, the experience that everyone does with non-Newtonic fluids, where something can look like a gooey liquid, and when you slam it, it will act like a solid. It's sort of the same thing without being the same thing. I think you can understand the message. Basically, it has very good properties, especially for ultralight fishing. What Pure Lure told me is that this rod, it will be like in its utility, it will be like a fancier zero. So you have the zero at 100 euros with conventional blanks, and you have this one with the M40CX from Toraika, where everything will feel better and be better. The models are longer than the ones that you have on zero, if I remember correctly. So I will just break it down as I open the links. So you have, oops, let's go to the table again. You have only spinning on this, like you have 4 spinning and 2 casting, sorry. So firstly, the casting, you have a 2.03 meters, so 6'8", a 7'3", so 2.20 meters are the same lengths that you will get on the zero. And then on the spinning, you will go up to 8'3". The 8'3" rod intrigues me a lot because I have the Superlit from Queen and I quite like it. And if this is an improvement, because it is, if you see the tip diameter, it's 1.0, so it's less than the one that you have on the Queen. And I think my Queen rod weighs 107, 110 grams, something like it. This one weighs 78 grams. So a lot of stuff going for it. The cast weight on the longest one, it's 1.2 to 12 grams, so around the same that you would get on the Queen Superlit. But how can I tell? If the difference that you get from the zero to the Hyperflex, it's something to go about, and it's a 60 euro gap. And I'm talking about not about the function of the rod, but the feel and the quality of the blank. If I take my Queen Superlit as a point of where I start, and then I have this, and if it's the same improvement, man, this will be a hell of a rod. But I don't think I will be testing it anytime soon. I think Andrew Knotts made a video about it today, so right around the release date, and they have silicon carbide insert rings, titanium frame, because that's not even that fancy now, but they have it, and that's one of the things that contribute to the rod being so light. And the rod looks quite classy. They ditched the quart because if you remember correctly, I put some teaser shots of the rod previously, the same blank, but now this one has this more modern look to it. Even still maintaining some gold accents that are somewhat classic. But at this price point, I think this one will not get to too many hands. I think the rod will be worth the money, in my opinion. I never got any disappointment from Purelure, but they are getting on a point, if they can't put the rods, and I can be wrong about it, but I think at this point, when you get this sort of pricing, when you don't have a rod in a store, it starts to be a little bit, why not go JDM? And let's hope this is not the start of a trend where we get the same price from CDM that we get from JDM. But moving on, starting with the Marvelous Madness. This is the Marvelous Venom, so very, very small wheel. As you can see in here, it's not yet branded as Marvelous. You can see that it says Accurata Professional Fishing Viper 500. I quite like the look of the wheel. They have a 1000 and a 500 version. So Rokoyoko, yeah, for this price, better buy Shimano. That's my point. The rod can be 3 times better than a $500 Shimano, can be better than a Poison Adrena, but will you bite the bullet? That's the point. And I would like to go on the store and be able to buy products from Purelure. If you can get on the store and grab the Shimano and grab the the pure lure. And if you think that this is hypothetical, this one costs 500 euros and this one costs 260, and you think that 260 it's better, that's one thing. The other thing, it's saying I go to the store, the guy explains everything to me, it hypes explains everything on detail about the rod. He knows everything. He has the booklet of the rod versus me ordering something for the internet. It's again, it's a bit weird, that price point. I think when it passes the 150, it starts to be very weird. With reels, like if you can get a reel for 200 euros on China, it can be a good deal because man, Shimano and I will overprice the higher hand casting reels, especially casting reels. So then they can still get a pass because at 200 euros or dollars, they are still giving value, especially with Miak, that's 160 euros. It's still a lot of value over Shimano. So you get better functions at half the price. Alexander says the Poison Adrenaline is outclassed by Iwi Dream Blade IV4. In my opinion, I have owned both. Yes, I have held the Poison Adrenaline on my hand, and man, I'm not a fan of Shimano. But focusing on the Venom, yes, the rotor looks really big, and it's one thing that I like on the reel. What I would like on this reel, and the specs on the 500, it's 4.5 kilos of drag, gear ratio 5.2 to 1, which is not bad for a small reel. 154 grams, again, not that bad. If they went with some other color choices and a cork knob, it would look sick. So if they ditch this color scheme and put in here cork, like if they went to gold and silver with a cork handle, the profile of the reel would fit very well on a stream rod, a spinning stream setup. But again, not that pricey. It looks cool. It looks good. I don't know how will be the performance, but let's see the rest of the specs, because I got a Takuma spinning wheel on the mail, and I have another one coming, and I'm very impressed with them. And if other brands will not respond, and if Takuma starts to sell on Aliexpress directly, and they can shorten the price, because the things that you see from Takuma and other brands is just some Chinese guy drop shipping through Aliexpress to us. When you see the Takuma coming in force through Aliexpress with proper pricing, where you get the reel that I got for 30-something euros without being an early bird deal, these guys will start to move a little bit quicker. So yeah, it's not a screw-in handle. It doesn't seem like it. But again, I quite like the look of the reel, but it seems like just a normal reel that the guy has in sale for some reason. But it looks, I like the profile. I don't like the color scheme. Hopefully, I may get one to test, the 500 size. Moving on, again, Mars, another wheel, LG. So Sakura, again, you see in here even the autotone. So if this is an autotone, I guess that you can get it cheaper from autotone, which is annoying. But usually reels from autotone, even if they look like a toy, they work. Yeah, it's the same frame. You see in here, you see this hole on the rotor, on the base of the rotor where you have the bail arm. It's the same as all the autotones reels that I have and Tabans. So It's a carbon infused plastic. That's why it's light. I think, yeah, 121 grams. They have the 500S. So 5 plus 1 ball bearings, the usual 5.2 to 1 gear ratio, the usual. The 2 kilos of force I quite like because I don't know why such a small reel need to have 5 kilos of drag or 6 kilos of drag or even 4 kilos of drag. Just do as all JDM does and give you 2.5 and 2 kilos of drag. So I would bet that this one, it's the same frame as the Polar Knight with a better handle. So the handle, it's metal. Hopefully it's not a folding handle. It's a solid no, it's folding. You can see here the pivot point. So again, for 26 euros, if you want something that is light, this will work. It's the same internals as the Polar. Yeah, you have the slider in here, so it will work actually quite well. So no complaints if they maintain this price of 26 euros and 91. Alexander said something. Personally, I don't think that those 5 kilos of drags are accurate. So I actually tested, and I regret not filming because I tested on my dinner break at work. So I went to my car and I have a scale there, even though I usually don't weigh my fish because my scale is not that accurate. The one that I have on the car to weight such small fish, but they are never accurate even with the same reel. So I have bought so many reels, and sometimes brands send me reels that they want to cover. Like I think I have the same reel from Marvelous and from Fishing Fans, and it's the same construction, and you will not get the same drag just because one of them had, the Fishing Fans one had no lube whatsoever on the drag. So where the one from Marvelous, you can see the progression on the drag. So it was lubed properly and you could feel the drag going through. And the one from Fishing Fans, I think it was rated for 4.5 kilos, something like that. And the rating that it gave me when I pulled on the line on the scale was like 7 kilos. And with the one from Marvelous, I think it gave me 4.7, something like it. So on the ballpark of 5.5 kilos. But again, you are right. Even with big brands, if I remember correctly, I had someone on a store with surf casting, and they tuned Shimano reels, and people would like to tune the drag or swap the felt for carbon washers. And even when they are testing, it's never accurate. It's just an estimate because friction plates are very hard it's a very hard thing. You can tune them to failure. And again, this is my working experience talking, not my fisherman experience working. You can tune something to failure. You cannot tune pressure force on that diminute of the scale on the type of such an abrasive material that like fishing brands do. So the carbon washers and the felt washers, you cannot accurate set the upper limit when it's almost fully braked. There's too much friction there and too much attrite on the washers to be ever accurate. And they don't even lube them all the same, so it's crap. Moving on, still with Marvelous, I have this rod. So I at some point, like some months ago, I said I started to have items on Temu, and then I found out that Temu most of the warehouses and the things that you can see on the app are locked on your country. So even if Timo, it's good to buy Lamorens like this one. So this is it's a Lamoren rod. You can even read the branding in here. This is like a nice rod. All Lamorens, like all the Yu Mingbu, I think I'm saying the brand right, are actually quite nice rods for the price. I think in Asia, they will run you from anything from like 10, 11 euros to 30, 30 something. So they are quite good value and they're actually quite good rods. The Shishi series of rods, like I just finished editing some videos of the Shishi telescopic version. The rod that I have, the Shishi, the Yumingu Shishi 7, if I remember correctly, the casting version, it's better than the ones that I have from Purelu, and it costs I think around the same. So in Purelu, you have the ultralight and BFS telescopic rods. You have like a cheap one that you can buy at some point for 21, 22 euros. And then you have the next step up. And then you have the one that costs almost 100 euros. So the middle one, it's the same price as the Yumingu, the Shishi, and the Shishi is better. So great value, very intricate design with the dragon, with some Chinese motifs in here. I think this is sort of a chicken dragon. It looks like a dragon, but it looks like it has feathers. Then, yeah, I think the name of the rod, even though it doesn't show in here, I have one. So I can tell you that the name of the rod is Silver Snake. Like me snaking on my chair. So quite, if you have like I would say the Usopp, the Lady Usopp, it will look quite nicely on the casting version of this rod. So good looking rod. Hopefully the price will go down a little bit, because if you do image search on this one, I bet you will get a cheaper deal than this one. Still on Marvelous. This one is very intriguing. This is, I saw it as a Magical, Magic Shadow, and now it's Demon Shadow. So look at this. So it looks very nice. This looks very expensive. I just ordered a rod from Queen that has a similar reel sit. Hopefully it's not the same rod, but it cost me 100 and something euros, the artist, and the reel sit looks very similar to this one. But again, moving on, this looks quite nice. If we come in here and check the specifics of this rod, so it will weigh from 74 to 93 grams, can handle weights from 2 to 10 grams. Let's see what we have more. It doesn't say anything about the guides, but man, I don't like this guide wrapping. It should look a little bit better, and at this price point you should get some C guide, or Fuji 8. Yeah, trying to understand what type of carbon fiber it is, but okay, so it has a clicking reel sit nut. Yeah, I also love Marvels because the guy takes risks selling all this stuff. It's nice. This rod looks quite intriguing. If I can get my hands into one, especially the longer versions. But again, you see guide count on the 2 meters and 1.4 millimeter. I don't know if this is a hollow tip rod. If it's a hollow tip rod, it's normal. If not, it's a little bit thick, and only 9 guides. Let's see. I would like to see this one in my hand to see how it feels. And again, more new stuff from Marvelous. It's the same rod, sorry. So another Lemoran. And it looks quite nice. Look, the cork, the wood, the double nut on the real seat. This is metallic, I bet you. Fuji. A-rings everywhere, as it says in here. You have two models only, spinning and casting 1.6 meters. Let's check the rest of the 1.4 millimeter on the tip, 7+1 guides with this size. It's actually quite good, and then always depends on the spacing. So getting closer and closer together towards the top, which is good. So again, direct Lemoran, nothing wrong about them. I quite like the Lemoran rods. Hopefully, by September, I will ramp up my schedule and now I'm able to have like 2 weeks in advance of videos, but I still have a lot. You see, this is my let's hide this so my wife doesn't see the price that I pay for the rods. But basically, this is my scheduling. And as you can see, there's still a lot of things. This is the unboxed video, so it's just me unboxing things at home. And there's a lot of stuff that is arriving that needs to be filmed. There are things that it will not be filmed. I just tested them and they are awful, and I have to wrap my head around to do a video saying that they are crap, even though I don't like to do that type of stuff, but it needs to be done because I have them. They are not good, and I don't want anyone else to have to buy it. Or if there are better alternatives, it's not worth. So if you have two similar reels that no one will buy because of the color scheme or something, there's no point of me making a review, because there's another that it's objectively better, and there's no redeeming point in the other one. So as you can see, there's a lot of things that I need to fish. There's a lot of things that I need to edit, and for that go smoothly, I need my mornings alone. And when my kid gets to school, I will try to up the posting. So I will try to post like 2 reviews per week, or just do all-in-one video if it's something that is easily digestible, like I did with the Marvelous Scylla reel. And I will try to do that. So let's try to find more information. So Fuji A, this should be at 50 euros. This should be bare minimum for Chinese rods. I think this will be 30-ton carbon. Lemoran will vary from the cheaper models, 24-ton to 30-ton carbon fiber. So, but I don't think it says anywhere else. But again, Lemoran, it's the Elite micro fishing, and 65 and 62 grams. So for this sort of reel sit and grip, it's a very good weight on this rod. But let's move on, because I still have a lot more things to talk, and I'm talking for 40 minutes right now. We have a baitcaster from Marvelous. This is the Yuri BFS, very affordable, 31 euros. You will have a universal spool and the deeper. So the universal spool is the deep one, and the micro cup, it's the one from for BFS. I suspect, and by suspect I mean this is the same body as the Sambrel Venom, if I'm correct. So this sort of brake system, which means that this reel will work. And let's see the specs. UDBFS, 138 grams of weight. It will retrieve 78 centimeters, 7.1 to 1 gear ratio, which is actually quite nice. I've reviewed and fished with some reels that are slower, and it's a little bit weird. Like the fishing with the elves today, it's everything under 70. It feels weird on the hand right now, at least for me. And I'm not a guy that fishes especially fast. 5+1 ball bearings, 1 to 10 grams of the weight of the bait. So I think this is the Samurai Phantom in disguise. So it should be good if you can get it for like at 25 euros. It can be a good deal. It's actually quite simple to work with. But at this price point, just get the Caesar VX, Zero VX that I tested today. It works wonderfully, even having the deeper spool and an Atono white Silverino, which is quite good. Moving on, we have the Shenge. So Shenge, I don't know if it's a rebranded brand or if it's original manufacturer like Taigek, because I have some things from Shenge. I think my deployable net, so the net that I can fold, the foldable net that I have now actually always with me, it comes branded as Shanghai. So this is the Shanghai vertical fishing metal drum wheel Zhongdiao. Even though it says vertical fishing, this is not for vertical fishing because it's not. If it was for vertical fishing, it would have a deeper spool. So this is a baitcaster for VFS. First thing when I saw this reel, so I'm always looking for round reels. I look at this and I thought, okay, this is another copy of the Lizard Boki Pro and the Lizard Boki, and the one that I have, the Beer King River Flow. But then I noticed that the braking system, it's actually on the normal side. So all the Bokis from Lizard and the River Flow clones will have that. I will talk in a bit. Have the braking system on the same side where you have the spool adjustment knob, the handle, the drag adjustment star. It will be all on the same side, which it's not as bad as people will say it will. Also on the Leidun Soup, the Leidun Soup has a problem because since it's a rotary dial, you will hit with your thumb by mistake and it will be very annoying. But this one, you still have it in gold. This is an early bird deal, so 105 euros. This is a CNC piece aluminium, so I quite like my Baking River Flow, but this one is not the same reel. So 4 kilos of drag, 12+1 ball bearing, so around the same count that I have on my Birking River Flow, and it will hold 0.8 PE, 120 meters worth of it. So I almost bought this reel. I have to tell. The braking system, it's actually quite similar to the one that we have, that I have on the Viking River Flow. Maybe it's some engineer in China that programs the CNC machines, just moved the braking system from one side to the other. But there are a lot of different things. So it looks good. It weighs 152 grams. It's not that bad for a aluminum chunk. This, I don't like the silver in here. It's just, it could be everything gold. It will be a lot better. Moving on, because again, this is unknown. I really want to get one of these. Hopefully sometime soon, but I shouldn't, because I still have, as you can see, a lot of things to go through. a lot of things. So moving on, Mi Fine. So you know that I like the Mi Fine Nano Jig Zero, and now they made it even more portable. So this is the Mi Fine Nano Jig Zero travel version. So they divided in 4 parts, which means that since this one is a 1.83 meters, it will fold to, and still 52 grams only. So still very light for a travel walk. It will go on 50 centimeters. So you can put it on your backpack. Man. And 40 euros. This one will be featuring on the deals that is coming, I think, in 4 days. So I'll be doing this again in 4 days, and I will showing you this rod again because it's and super ultralight is a thing that you can do everywhere. So you can take this rod with you, and it's a steal at under 40 euros. And then you can put the coupons of the sale. It's just perfect price point. Continuing on with Mi Fine, because this video is almost 1 hour long. So I have this rod. I didn't think they would release it as soon because I didn't film the video yet, and I would like to have it as soon as they release the rod. This is the Mi Fine Outrange. In the unboxing video, I go on the huge rant because when they told me that they had a prototype of the Mi Fine Illusion, so I will have the rant again now. I had a huge rant with the guys from Mi Fine, and I said, because they sent me the prototype of the Nano Jig, and I think they sent me the Illusion / casting. And I said to them, please, if you do a casting rod, do a rod that has a higher cast weight, because no one that is buying 50 or because this price will go down as usual with Mi Fine as soon as it hits the Rokoyoku. Which Mi Fine rod got your attention? The Outrange or the Nano Jig Travel? But again, I said to them, please, the best rod that you have to do casting for BFS, it's the Outrange. It has 0.5 to 5 grams. Okay, the Nano Jig Travel. You know where you will use it? Because I would use it everywhere. If you can put it on a backpack, you can fish basically everything everywhere with that rod. But basically, I said to the Mi Fine guys, and then they released, I think, the Microbite, and I said to them, please make these 2 rods as a casting version. It's the best models that you have for casting. And they, for some reason, they didn't tell anything, and they sent me the Airspin, like just out of spies, after me telling that the Illusion / was not a good idea and it was not well executed, the first version. But that's not the question. The question is why someone is buying a rod that costs 40 euros and then has to buy a reel that costs, like, realistically, a normal person that will not mess it doesn't want to mess with reels, with bearings, with changing things. You will have to get. So Alexander says, yeah, the Nano Jig Travel is a great idea, but the cast weight better, nothing heavier than up to 3 grams. So another suggestion that I gave to Mi Fine, because I have a rod from Ricardo that uses the same blank as the Pegasus, which is a hollow tip rod that will go from 0.6, 0.8 to 3.5 grams. It's make that one travel. The nano jig is great because you will be able to catch literally anything with flies and nano stuff. But with the Pegasus, you can start to deal damage. You can catch bass with it. I caught 30 plus centimeter bass with it. I caught carp with it. I caught twait shad, like 40 centimeter twait shad with that blank. If you can make that travel, you can go like the 1.98 meter version, like a 5-piece. Then you can do literally anything with that rod because you have like 2-gram spoons. It casts things a mile if you use like 0.2 or 0.4 PE on it. It's an awesome blank. So I would go with that one first. And that's something that I told MeFine also. But basically I told MeFine, please do these two. And then what they sent me to test if you know the air spin, it's like, I think, a hollow tip also. I don't have the spinning version, but it's a 3-part rod. Sorry. The rod is wonderful, the air spin, and in casting version, it's actually such a great rod. But then I have my pure lure silver fed air with ceramic hybrid ceramic bearings in it, and or I have to use the iStar Aurora air with full ceramic bearings on it just to catch 1-gram lures. And what can I do with it? And what can a normal folk that is not obsessed with throwing light stuff with casting gear do with it? Really nothing. With this, you can go bass fishing with finesse techniques. With the outrange, you can also go bass fishing with finesse techniques. You can go through like 7-gram spoons, 7-gram presentation. That it's very doable to catch sea bass with microbite 2.2 meters with in casting. So those were the models that I told them to do. After that, if people do the Pegasus. The Pegasus is still 3 grams. You can buy now a lot of cheap reels that will do the like 1.5 to 3 grams with no problems whatsoever on the casting side. These would be the ones that I would be bothered to change to casting. So I'm quite happy with this. I have it. I will be hopefully Sunday test it after bass and a microbite that I also have the 2.2 meter version in casting. I will try to catch some sea bass or some sea dwellers in the sea actually this time next Sunday. Because I'll make sure that I'm well rested and I don't make my father wake at 4 a.m. for nothing. Another one, this is from a brand that just sells assorted stuff on Aliexpress, Tayu. And another thing, I'm reaching my last 3 products. So if you have any other questions, even if they are not related, feel free to put them there. And I will try to answer them if I know. Alexander says, yeah, you have got a point there. MeFine is trying so hard with manufacturing, with casting super ultra. Again, you have to keep in mind, I'm not sure because they don't answer that question, because I know that Mikado, if you are in Europe, you will know the brand, uses the same blanks, even though they are different rods. MeFine doesn't answer my question if they are the manufacturer or if they are in control of the factory that does the rods. So to that point, I think they are just experiment with things and then they try to push it to the customers. So third party companies that go there and buy stuff from them. So Mikado has the M-Craft series of rods. I have one. I have the M-Craft micro jig. it's exactly the same blank as the Pegasus. The bits and pieces are different. Coloring is different. The way the blank works, it's exactly the same. It's the same bands. It's the same action. It's the same displacement on the guides. If you hold a Mifine rod, you will know what the Mifine rod is. And even if you hold a rod that doesn't say that it's from Mifine and you hold it, you will know it's made on the same exact place. So, and they will have more in the future, I bet, because those rods are so good for ultralight fishing. They have the recipe so dialed in that it's annoying. But again, I will do some videos by the end of the year with like retrospective, and if I do a video recommending like what you should buy to start fishing, if you want to buy it on a store, buy the Mikado. If you are in Europe, just get that Mikado M-Craft, the tubular tip, or get the Pegasus from Mifine. I think it's all around for ultralight and super ultralight. It's the 1.93 meters. It's the best option that you have. So this rod from Tayo, unfortunately, it's not available on casting. Everything is spinning. I've seen this rod like some months ago with a friend on Alibaba, and it's a Tayo Sport. It looks so exquisite. It could be crap, but I think it will not be. It will not. Because if I remember correctly, the info that I had, it was 30-ton carbon, and it has a 1 millimeter tip. It looks quite good. I don't know if it's the orange and black, if it's the real seat, if it's the butt cap. It looks, the rod looks really cool, and I think it also has that system where you adjust the real seat. It's a good looking rod. That's the only reason why I feature in here. But I have a problem with Tayo. Every time I buy a rod from them, they will not ship it to me, and they will just cancel the order. So you see, shipment says 75 cents. So they might send it because the other ones were choice, and I think they didn't want. And I bought it from like 20 euros, something like that. And I think they didn't want to lose money, so they just canceled the order. Moving on, so this reel, it's the Samba. Basically, it's the Birking River flow. So if anyone is interested, this is exactly the same reel that I have from Birking, but without the engraving. So this is the spool. Same exact reel. In here you have the same exact knobs, everything except the knobs and the engraving. It's the same than the reel that I have, and it's actually quite a good reel. So 6.2 to 1 gear ratio, 3 kilos of drag, 12 plus 1 ball bearings, and 56 centimeters of retrieve per turn. So not a lot. It's not a fast reel, I have to tell you that. Sembo 2024. So Sembo, my favorite brand. And Zukibo, if you are curious, Zukibo released a bunch of hooks. Also, I didn't feature in here because I'm waiting for mine to arrive, and I want to see if they are any good first. So, because I know that it will be a thing that you guys would buy because it's so inexpensive, and if it was crap, I don't want that over my head. So Delki, one of my favorite brands of dirt cheap reels, just released the DC reel. So again, and I have two of them to test also. One from Luxafi and another one from Anatono. So this is the Delco K2. K2. So let's see this. So Jesus, this is hard. Yeah, this is basically, I will not buy this because this is the same as the Anatono. So I've seen the Anatono, I've seen this. This has a huge flaw that you cannot see in here. I don't know, at least mine in the hand without casting, because I know that they can charge after testing. You in here on the drag adjustment knob, you don't see any numbers, and you have a window, and on the window you can only see like you have the dial, and on the dial you just have like a huge thick silver line, and that silver line has nothing on it, and then you have a window to see the silver line. It's weird. I think down it's less, and when you adjust it towards you it's more, but basically that's the info that you have. You don't know in which step of the braking system you are in, so very, very weird. But other than that, the Anatono looks quite nice. So this is the same exact wheel with just a different color. So please stay away for now. I will do some testing. The Luxafi, I can tell you, don't buy it, scrap. If you think this is bad to adjust the Luxafi, okay. Rokoyoko says I saw some tests on that and the dial seems to have no effect. So what you're saying is that they just had a frame, which is something that I also thought, because I spin it, but since I had no load, I was not sure what my eyes were seeing, if there was any effect whatsoever. And I was too lazy to make a dot and film it coming in slow motion and count the times that I see the dot, because I didn't see, like you said, any effect. And they are just using like a dummy side cover that already had the dial in, and they didn't want to make another mold. That's what you're saying? Because another thing you cannot see in here, but if you remember, some time ago, like in August, I showed you a new product that was DC braking system for the Abu Garcia reels. This is very similar to the Abu Garcia system. So what I think they do, they have like a reel that has the same spacing as the Abu Garcia or something like it. They already had a side cover. They just cut it, left the dial there, and just slammed the DC brakes. Because realistically, with DC brakes, you don't need any adjustment. This is just bull crap. With pure lure GEC, basically, it's just fine tuning. Everyday user, you would just go from master to maximum. So if they have a middle term, it would just work. But again, I will test the Anatono as soon as I can. The Luxafi, again, don't buy it. The one that costs 30 something euros, it could work. Firstly, it's a 150 size wheel. It's bigger than my 100 size wheels. And you have to adjust it. It's like a deep switch. It's so bad. So you have a diagram on on the breadboard inside of the side cover of the reel, and they give you like a fish rubber key folder where if you pop it, the silicone, you have a thin SIM card ejector. You know the thing that you use to pop up your SIM card tray on your phone. They give you that, and you have to go with that on the dip switches, and then you have like 9 ways that you can set the 3 dip switches that you have to get the breaking level that you want. So a lot worse than having a dummy dial adjustment that probably you will not need. That will do a good video to see if the dial really works or is it fake. So when I can do it, I can do a short with it because it's actually quite easy to do. I just have to put some weight on it and just let it fall and put in maximum and minimum, because you will see the line coming out of the spool as soon as the presentation touches the floor. It's actually quite an easy test, and I can do with Pure Lumiere so you can see the difference. And we get to the last item, which is also a DC reel. This one is from Autotone, also one brand that I really like for dirt cheap reels. So you have 2 of them. The micro wire cup, which features what it seems a Daiwa style braking system. Let's see what it says in here. So CD SDC electronics brake system, maybe. And I still don't understand, because I think, because you see the price difference, the universal wire cup, it's 114 euros and the other one it's 52. It's actually quite weird to me. What I think is that the universal one, which is the deeper spool, it's a DC reel. If it works or not, it's over me. I don't have this one. And I think the other one, the shallow spool version, and I can be wrong, the shallower version, it's like just a 6-pole dynamic magnetic levitation braking system. So what it looks like, it's like this it's true. It's very weird. It looks like in here you have the space for a cup, but you don't have the cup like you have with Iowa. And then you just have conventional parallel magnets to the spool itself. Weird. Okay. In here, yes, in here you can see the whole picture. So you have the DC brake system on this one, 150 grams and 100 and something euros, and the 52 euros. I might get the 52 euros one because it's very intriguing. And I like intriguing stuff. So I have a friend that is always not annoying me, but showing me the Illusion reel that it got from Alibaba, and it has the same profile as this one. But as you can see in here, even though this is a render, the universal cup, or in this case, this micro cup, it's 8.2 grams, which is not that bad, I will tell you, for a Daiwa style brake. It has the inducted cup, so you have force applied in here, And in here, which means that it might be a good braking system, because the ones that I have on my Daiwa, it's the best braking system that I have with magnets, like controllable and explosion proof. Yeah. This one seems good. Not to see the other one. It looks exquisite, and I like exquisite. So I exhausted all the new stuff that I had to show you. There's a lot of new stuff, but it's not a brand that I've covered previously. It's very annoying because imagine I show you, look at this and snare mori something roll like I have in here, and then next week the guy that is drop shipping them just sells 2 of them and it's gone. So and this is the brand that I'm very starting to be very fond of, the Takuma. I just got 2 reels from them. They are quite nice. I'm still waiting on 2 more. And these were the hooks that I was telling you about. These are not featured. I'm still waiting on mine, so keep that with a pinch of salt. But the size 6 don't have any size, but hopefully they will be smaller than the 4s that also don't have size. I would bet you on 26 millimeters, something like it. So if they are 26 millimeters, they should be good for some stuff that I have coming. And take advantage of all the early bird deals that you can. It's as I've been amassing such a high volume of gear. You're having here small frogs, more hooks from Zukibo, very small. Let's open this. So this is size 8 G heads that you can have with 0.5 grams. So very small, 14 millimeters from beginning to the then. What are you saying, Yoko? Zukibo released some tungsten Ned rigs also. If they are similar to the Ned rigs of Lootaholic, I will have to have high confidence where I'm throwing them, because if they are tungsten, they will not be cheap. And if it's open exposed hook, you know what that means? It means you're losing money quite soon with those Nedricks. But I can open the starting check, because I always looking for. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I saw them in here. It's these ones. Okay, they have a lot. See a lot of terminal tackle coming in. Yeah. These tantas are also made from TPE. So if you want some tantas, I don't like. Yeah, it's good that they have tungsten tackle now. I would prefer. I've bought some from Timo, and you also have these Ozark style hooks, which are quite nice. Unfortunately, in here, fishing well like type of tubes and belly weighted doesn't seem to be very profitable for me in terms of getting more fish to bite. One thing I would like to see, it's like EWG style nets. So I use now a lot of floating plastics, and I would like to see a movable head with the EWG hook already on it, like a size 6 EWG hook, and then you have like a 2-gram cylinder tungsten weight, and that would give you a lot more confidence when you're casting, because you don't have an exposed hook. I think it would look quite nice if you have like a TP short worm, chunky worm, and then you have a wide gap hook, and then you just hopping the worm on the bottom. I think it would look quite nice, but But I think I'm talking for 1 hour and 15 minutes. I think that's enough. So I would keep it for 5 more minutes. So if you have any last questions, you have time to ask them. And I will just randomly browse through Aliexpress. And if I see anything interesting, I will put the link after the last thing. So Kingdom magnetic bottle opener with a fish on it. It might be off topic. It might be a thing with fake dials. Have you seen Abu Garcia? Yes, that was what I was telling. The thing with Anatono, Meteor something, that's exactly the same rule as the Delcu that I just showed you, is that if you don't have the adjustments, the adapter that you are talking about from Abu Garcia to change it from magnetic to electronics, it looks the same. So I have the reel, I have it in my hand, and it looks exactly with the thing that you have on the pictures. Like you have 3 places where you put the screws in, and then you just pop in the electronics part, and you pop in the new spool. So I think it might be something like it. They have a frame where they can fit it, and they just fit it, and they keep the dials there. But I can disassemble it also, and at least disassemble and oops, I left my beverage fall on the ground. I can disassemble, and I will not promise a video, but I might take some pictures and post to them saying if it's fake or not. But I also like the idea of letting it fall and testing it if it changes anything with a fall. So again, the dog from Kingdom, I'm not buying this because I'm a guy that I'm too impatient to use top water for 2 reasons. Because it's hard to get them to bite with top water in Portugal. Either bass or chub. And 2, they missed a lot. So it's everything going against my ADHD. You don't get a lot of bites, and the ones you get frustrated because you probably lose your fish. I'll probably start to recommend this reel also, the Caesar Zero VX. I used it today. I'll probably take it out again on Sunday, just to make some more video content around it. But I had a wrong impression. I ordered it just because shits and giggles, and it was very cheap. And it's actually quite good even with a deep spool. So I might start to get a little bit frisky with deeper spool reels to do BFS with. I will test Tantas with Cheb. So Tantas with Cheb, I caught. Let me check. I caught Chub with that, the specific Tanta from Peak. So since you asked, I will. Oops, not this. I don't want. I have to be more specific. Oh, they have new stuff. Look. Alessandra. Yes, you can speak Portuguese, no problem. So this one, this Tanta in specific, this magnificent Tanta with a pink belly. So this Tanta has caught me, let's see, chub, a bunch of chub. I would say 70% of all the chub that I caught this year. Bass, a lot of bass, and probably the biggest bass that I caught this year at almost 40 centimeters was this one. Let me check. more. I caught the scalo, which is like a silverfish that we have in Portugal. What did I get more with this? I've hooked up a lot, like more than 6 barbels and lost them because when I'm using this, I'm using like 0.16 millimeter leaders, and they broke off. I caught sunfish. What did I catch more? I caught the twitch shed, but I didn't catch it on video. I was trying to catch mullet with this tanta. This year mullet fishing has been crap. They don't look to be eating. On the exactly same spot, the exactly same, not exactly the same, probably the exact same mullets, but they are very hard to be caught eating. So I've caught like 5 or 6 pieces, and I probably would be able to catch trout with it if we had the amount of trout that it would allow for the possibility of cutting. I think that BNU is better than Supercontinente mushroom. So my regards with BU versus Supercontinente is that extra small stuff you can only get it from Supercontinente, like the Tremorph 20 millimeter fish, the very very small tanta, but the claws, you get better value from Supercontinente because of the price and the quantity, but the ones from BU, especially if you use the one that has the huge pincers, the huge appendix, if you use the ones from Supercontinente, the arms might fall off during the casting, like my right arm at some point it might fall. So I just had an exam on my shoulder, and it's full of calcification from tendinitis. So that's something that will bother me in the near future. Yeah, but basically, I think BU has better quality. It has better control on the molds, especially on where you have the appendices joints. I think they are better made. So probably similar profile, but a little bit more refined molds and more thoughtful molds. But they are quite expensive at some point. And BO also has some good hooks. The ones from and that's also the hooks that I use with this tanta are the ones from Supercontinente because are the best ones to fit on this tanta. Also, don't get this color. I got it. I got the first pack. It was okay. The second pack that I got was awful. And like sometimes it will happen with the same color Speedcross from BU. Man, you get your nails pink just from touching the fish and the lure itself. You just get long stretches of the pink coming off on your hands, and it's very annoying to take it out, especially if you have dry hands. It will go on all the crevices on the palm of your hands, and you just get pink everywhere. Very annoying. I don't know if the UV does anything, but basically the colors that I use the most is this one. This one will catch fish every day of the week. This one is a close second. This one is a third, and all the other ones I've used with not great results. This one should work great, but again, depends on the quality control that you are having that week on the coloring, because it can bleed out quite quickly. So I already extended for 10 minutes. I don't know if you guys really have any more questions. I would be very pleased to be answering questions all night, but if you don't have any, I shouldn't be stressing the stream too much. I plan to do more, so I plan to do all the videos of sales, new stuff. I will try to separate them because it's too much to cover, and at least now I don't have a lot of time to prep. I have time to select the links, to do a bit of research, but it's actually quite hard. So you will have the opportunity to get your questions answered by the 18th. I heard that it was really warm in Portugal those days. So people confuse weather with climate, and the problem that we have in Portugal is that. So I'm 36-year-old, and even though I lived in Lisbon, there the weather is like normal, perfectly normal for summer. You get 30 something degrees. Maybe one day with 40, you get like cool breezes from the sea. In here is crap. So I've been coming here in this, like when I was with the vacations from school, the 2 months I came in here because even though I am not married, please don't say that to my, when I moved together with my, I would say wife, yes, it's the proper word, even though it's not in paper. When I moved in with my wife, I was already coming in here, so it was just a coincidence. And the weather in here, even on the summer, it would get breezy on the night, and now it's just we are on the end, hopefully, of a stretch of I would say 5 weeks, with every night being 98% of the nights being over 20 degrees Celsius. So that's annoying. If it's good for fishing, no. That's why every time you see me fishing for bass, I'm going nearer and nearer of the coast where we have. If I go like on a direct line from where I'm at to the coast, it would be 30 something kilometers. And the difference in temperature, it will vary from 10 to 15 degrees. So when you see me fishing for bass, I'm going nearer and nearer the coast. When you're fishing for twitchhead, I'm getting near the coast. In here, fishing is crap. So that's why you didn't see me fishing for chub other than the like 2 videos, but they were recorded like on the beginning of the heat wave. So if you talk with someone that is not from Douro and over, everything is fine, no problem. If you are in here, where I'm at, it's awful. So not good weather to fish if you're in the exact same place where I'm at. If you go near the coast, it's normal. So it has been crap for chub fishing. Let's see if something pops up. I might buy something. Like early bird deal. So, oh, this one isn't telescopic. So this is the bison something. Big bison. I got this rod in a 2-parter, and now they have it on. Look, on telescopic. It looks actually quite nice. It's a bit heavy. Just got mine today. So another one to go on the waiting list. So Arc Reflex is coming down on price. Nice. It's a great rod. If it gets cheaper and more people can get it, it's better. This is another reel that I really want. So this is the rod that I bought from Queen. That has a similar reel seat and ass to the one that you saw from Mavlos. But as you can see, the cast weight is a bit different and the tip, it's a bit different, and this is 40-ton carbon. So this is the another build that I'm also looking towards. Not this one, because this one looks crappy because of the color scheme, but this one looks like a Daiwa Millionaires, and I quite like it, and it has the Daiwa braking system. So nice, but yeah, man, not at 100 and something euros. Yeah. I think we are done for today. We'll have a couple of best videos coming on the next couple of weeks. I think I still have like 1 or 2 Twitch chat videos on the box ready to come out. And after that will be Bass and hopefully Seabass, and hopefully by the middle of September, if we have rain and we have like normal temperatures, I might be able to go wading and chub fishing, which I quite like, and then I can use some ultralight rods and some ultralight VFS rods that I have waiting and lurking around. So thanks to staying in on the stream, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye!